test. Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Man, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers, and getting listeners back again with another episode. Tonight is one of my favorite nights of the year. It's where I spitball and shoot out random ass ideas on what I think is going to happen in the 2025 season. But before we start that, guys, this is the Miller Park Minute. We air daily episodes on YouTube. We're still working on the audio factor. I haven't gotten that totally figured out yet. I don't know what's the deal there, why my service is not working. I'm still trying to figure that out. But until then, you can check us out on YouTube live nightly, around 9-10 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. I do my recordings. We will be on all the other platforms again at some point here in the next couple coming days. I'm just too busy to figure it all out. Every time I go in there, it just locks me out, and I don't know why it won't let me update it. So sorry if you are an audio listener, but for now, you can watch the video version of my podcast. So I think last year, I came out with some wild predictions, as I like to do. It's fun to just predict stuff and be as optimistic as you possibly can be when it comes to your team. So I do this once, twice, 3 times a year. And of course we revisit it because I don't believe that you can just make predictions and say wild stuff and not come back to it and try and visit. We're not sponsored by Burger King. That is just the commercial that is on. So no Burger King sponsors. If you're curious why the Burger King logo is in that upper right corner. Left. Right, left. Your left, my right. Anyways. So that being said, not much on the news front today. I think just some loose rumblings on some free agents. Nothing really to keep track of. I kind of talked a little bit about some articles and some stuff yesterday. I'm hoping the second week of this 2025 year is going to bring us some news, maybe some free agent signings, just across the board. So let's get into this list. And this is kind of all off the top. I always like to do individual performances. I pick my favorites and I tell you what I think they're going to do. So in no particular order, I just kind of arrange these. I write, 1 through 25 on a piece of paper, and then we discuss them. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do it live this year. So this is going to be a live as I think of them, as I write them down, live on air type of deal. It's funny, I do the predictions and then I do my goals on the next side of that piece of paper for the year. So 25 for 25. We're going to start off with number 25. I am going to say Brandon Woodruff returns by June. As you guys have known and probably know already, he has not pitched since his surgery that he had. So Brandon Woodruff by June is probably a good bet. So we're going to pencil that in at number 25. Number 24. Okay, every year I do, and literally this is off of last year's piece of paper. Every year, Yellow returns to All-Star. He didn't quite get the All-Star last year, but I felt like he returned to form. So we're going to put Yelich is an all-star. We're going to write it like it's going to happen. I've always been told when you write your goals, you write it as if it is already happened. So we're going to write Yelich is a 2025 all-star. And you guys may think, okay, why do you do this, Eric? Like, why is this a topic? Well, quite frankly, it's fun to put my wishes out into the universe. Just like when you write goals, like these are my goals for the team and my hopes and wishes for the team. If I put them out there and the universe makes them happen, so be it. Let's do it, right? If not, it gives me something to talk about why I was wrong. You know what I mean? Like what happened. Go Jays. Keep going, bud. Good content. Thank you. East Coast Blue Jays. I appreciate your how do you feel about your team at this juncture, man? If you're still here, give me an answer to that. I'll come back to you. 2025 is going to be a year. I think along with that all-star for I'm writing it before I say it. Bryce Turang, all-star 2025. I mean, he already was a Silver Slugger, right? So just get the bat going early in the season. You know, it's kind of funny because all-stars are based off of the front half of the season. So, like, you could be really, really good up to the all-star break and completely fall apart. But they can't take that all-star away from you. So we're going to put that for number 23. We're moving right down the list. I like to do team ones, but I just don't really see, like I did last year, I wrote Young Bucks Shine. I would feel that happened. I'm going to put, what do I want to put here? Do I put in everyday position prediction? I think I do. Sorry, I missed it. I don't know what he missed, but can I steal stuff off of this list? Can I steal stuff off last year? Garrett Mitchell plays a full season. That's gonna be a more plays full season. I wrote comeback player of the year last year, and he didn't play enough time to consider being a comeback player of the year. So I'm going to give him a full season of play for 2025. I think our new closer is going to be McGill. So I'm going to write that down. McGill. Because this year I'm going for checking boxes. So this year I'm not just going to say, okay, McGill is the new closer. I'm going to say McGill is the new closer, and McGill gets 20 saves. Now, this could be a good and a bad thing for me because this could also, when I think about this, I'm like, okay, this is 2 boxes. I could officially check 2 boxes if he gets 20 saves. But it also says, okay, if he doesn't become the new closer, then I'm out of luck. And then I can't cross either box. So like Miley last year was one of my predicted. And I had to cross it completely off because Miley didn't play after the first part of the season. So you win some and you lose some, guys. All stars. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go conservative this year. I always like to go big, but I'm gonna say 4 all stars in total. I already named 2 of them. And is it cheating if I predict more names for all stars than the ones that actually land? Probably, but at the same juncture, I'm gonna go with William Contreras gets an all-star nod. Because the all-star game is kind of a fickle fickle thing because it's voted by fans and we are not one of the biggest markets. I feel like it's hard to predict. William C. All-Star. I am really getting shorthanded here. And we are down to number 17. Number 17. I feel like Sal Frelick is going to knock in a few more dingers this year. I'm going to put him at... Literally, guys, I'm doing this live as we speak, so feel free to chime in if you got any questions along the way on my thought process or how I process these things. I look at stats as a random sometimes, but sometimes I actually use them when I make my judgments. So Sal over 2 seasons of Brewers baseball. He has had 2 and 3 home runs. Let's call it a big year. We're gonna go big for Sal. Sal, we're gonna count him to knock some of our home run. We're gonna go 15 home runs. That would be a big step for Sal, and it would also help the home run deficit that we're losing from Willy Adames. So that's crucial. I think that's always crucial. You want to look at where players on your team can add to said value. And again, we're talking about this way too early. We don't know how any of these players are going to play. I've said this 100 times, but it's still fun. It's still fun to do. Still fun to do. Okay, so in Jackson Churio's first full major league season, he knocked 21 home runs out of the park and stole 22 bases. So he had a 2020 season. Could he do 30-30? 20-30? You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say he's going to do a 30-30. So Cheerios, as I sometimes like to call him, if you ever hear me say it, it's just a little pet nickname I have for him. Cheerios, 30 season. 30 SB, 30 home runs. All right, down to number 15. See, we're just moving right along here. We're going to give a pitcher an all-star nod. Just because I believe... Freddie all-star. One of these years I'm going to be right about Freddie, and people are going to be like, hey, he was right. When you predict it all the time, and you just hope for it all the time, really, this comes into me wishing it into existence over and over and over again. I did some here last year that were kind of similar in concept to just trying to get a quick win. And I'm doing it again. Guys. I am going to try and get some quick wins here. So that being said, let's just take a look at Mr. Peralta. I think Gasser's going to get... let's make a Gasser prediction first. Gasser is going to get 10 big league starts. No, 15. We'll go higher. Big league starts. He's going to be a piece of this rotation. Tobias Myers. While we're on the topic of Gasser. Tobias Myers. All-star. Dude's going to get another 30-plus starts this year. Tobias Myers. TM. We're going to call him 30 starts. I think he's going to be a consistent guy. I'd like to see Gasser be a consistent guy too. Number 11, we're going to move right along. I was going to go into a Freddie Peralta one. Aaron Ashby. I think Aaron Ashby is going to be healthy. Aaron Ashby. Healthy season. What do we consider a healthy season? How many IL stints? Can you be on the IL if you have a healthy season? I say yes. DL Hall is going to be a good piece of this rotation, but we're not going to make a prediction right there. Let's get to Mr. Peralta. And like I said, this is actually how I do this when I don't do this. Normally, I don't do this right on camera live as we speak. I may adjust these too. I may do some like adjusted ones. Like I'll date this one when today is over, and we'll actually go through it. Okay, so how many starts did he have each year? Quality starts versus games started, of course. Let's see here. Games started 14, 8, 27, 27, 30, 32. I'm going to say he gets 35 starts. 35 starts. 10. Ready? 30 starts. And if you don't see what I'm doing here, I'm wishing for health amongst all of the Brewers players this year. You know what's funny? I wrote Christian Yelich bats close to 300, and he did last year, so that's pretty awesome. I'm going to give another Yelly 35 home runs. It's just off the top. I'd love to see Jackson Chourio hit more, but I don't want to put too much on him because I don't want him to get hurt. I thought Uribe would be an all-star for reliever. I'm going to write that one in. Hopefully he did not get nearly enough time last year, and I think part of it was the injury and then the fight that he had. We are already down to number 7, guys. We're just rolling right along on this list. What did I get? Home run leader for the team. You know what my last two are, right? Those are the same year after year. I don't have to retell you those, do I? Number 1 and number 2 are always the same. And eventually I'm going to be right about them. Let's talk about other players, though. I feel like I should give a little more love to Bryce, but I don't know what else I want to give Bryce. I think Caleb Durbin's going to be an everyday player. I'm going to write this down. Caleb Durbin. MLB. Next in the order of rotations, I love Monasterio. I'm sad he didn't really. I think we're going to see Jefferson Curo, so I'm going to write that one down too. Jefferson Curo. Call up. Which I think at that point you would see more DHing from Contreras. Just depends on where Christian Yelich is at, if he's playing the field every day or not, where we are in the position of like where we are in the season, because like we get into that weedsy part of the season where you're down to, you only had 3 guys left and you've basically used Joey Weimer for the entire season. You know what I mean? Like that happens deep into the season. When we get into these weedsy situations. So next is going to be a Nestor Cortez thing because I wanted to say something about Mr. Nasty Nestor. And last year he had 164 strikeouts on record. I'm going to say he gets a big 175 for strikeouts as a Brewer. Now that's assuming he's a starter. We don't know that that's 100% the use case that they see for him, but I would assume that he would make a good starter, third to fifth starter. I don't think he's going to be a top dog. They're going to lock that up with either Brandon Woodruff or Freddie Peralta. I think you're looking at Woody as number 1 if he can start when he can start. I think you're looking at Freddie as number 2. Aaron Ashby, possibly Robert Gasser, Tobias Myers fitting in at number 3 and 4. And Nestor could be 5. But you also got Savali. Oh, this rotation is going to be tough to determine once it gets there. But we'll see. We'll see how it all fits in. You also got Grant Wolfgram in there. Reese. What are we going to give Big Reese for home runs? Big Dog Reese. I think he popped 30. I think he could pop 30. What did he have last year? We're going to look. Again, like I said, I don't always look at these things, but I like to sometimes look at what they had just to see. So career home runs. He is rocking 18, 34, 29, 26 was last year, 30 was the year 2022. Let's give him 35. Big Hoskins at 35 dingers. And you also wonder what I'm doing here. I'm adding home runs to everybody. 35 homers. Because we're trying to make up that gap, right? We're trying to close the gap. We are trying to close the gap. So we're down to the last 3 spots. If you look at this list, the last couple spots always go to my favorite, the Brewers. Brewers win NL Central. We write it into existence every year. It's literally been on my sheet. I wish I had all the sheets, but I've at some point thrown them away. Number 2 on that list is Brewers get past first round. Got to write it into existence. Always write it into existence. And number 1, the Brewers win the World Series. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The Brewers win the World Series in 2025 and are the 2025 World Series champions. They bring the trophy back to Milwaukee. We're done. That's number 1 through 25, writing in reverse order, kind of random order. If you want to take a look at that list, that's how I write them out. That's how I draw it up. If I could draw out the perfect season. So let's review this. Number 2025, I said Brandon Woodruff returns in June. 2020. Number 24, Yelich is a 2025 Brewers All-Star. Number 23, Bryce Terang is a 2025 All-Star. Number 22, Garrett Mitchell plays a full season. Number 21, new closer, McGill. Number 20 is McGill gets 20 saves. And again, this is going to contradict what I already said, but I don't care. 4 All-Stars. Then I put William Contreras as an All-Star. Sal Frelick gets 15 home runs at number 17. Number 16 is Jackson Chourio, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Number 15 is Freddie as an All-Star. Number 14, Gasser, 15 big league starts. Tobias Myers is an All-Star. And again, I said I'm going to have more All-Stars than I predicted All-Stars because the All-Star game is a fickle individual. Tobias Myers also starts 30 this season. Aaron Ashby has a healthy season. Maybe 1 or so IL stints. He's going to miss some starts. Guys miss starts. That's normal in the big leagues nowadays. Freddie is going to rock 30 starts. Yelich is going to rock 35 home runs. Uribe is going to be an all-star. He's going to come back. He's going to be a dominant setup to potentially. He could potentially be a closer too, though. There's been many a discussion about him being a closer. Caleb Durbin, MLB player this season. He's going to fill in, if not Black. We'll see Durbin there too. Jefferson Carroll is going to be called up to the major league at some point this season. Nasty Nestor is going to have 175 strikeouts. Reese Hoskins is going to rock 35 home runs. The Brewers are going to win the NL Central again. That's theirs to own. As I said, I keep saying this, guys, they have not done anything worse or less than prior. There is nothing that has been done that's made them lesser than anybody else in the NL Central. They're still, unless moves start getting made here in January, nobody in the NL Central has improved themselves over the Milwaukee Brewers. Bar none. Brewers get past the first round of the playoffs, so I added this as a kicker because it gives me another win for the year. But it also, we've got to speak it into existence. I've said that several times today already. You guys speak it into existence. Remember to drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And number one, the Brewers win the World Series. Guys, it's going to happen. Speaking into existence, you heard it here first on the Miller Park Minute on January 5th, 2025. The Brew Crew wins the World Series. Let's go. All right. That being said, guys, we are going to come back this week. We're going to talk about a lot. I got a lot on my brain and in my head. Talking Brew Crew ball. We're going to come back with some What the Chuck. Next Chuck episode comes up, I believe, Monday. Monday there's a Chuck episode. But we're going to talk about those things as always. And then we're going to go into any moves that are made this week. I was just scrolling the old trade rumors, as I like to do. Really, they're just talking about free agents and who's still available. We're going to dive into some more of these candidates. It does look like I just saw somebody was off the board before. Oh, Kevin Biggio is off the board. He got a minor league contract with the Royals. He's more of a project player anyways at this point, so I'm not super down on that. Jordan Montgomery trade. That one brings some interest to me just because the Brewers have the pitching lab. So let's talk about Jordan Montgomery for a minute. He is paid a lot of money to not perform with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona is a familiar fellow to us. They trade with us a lot. So he's going to be 32. They just added Corbin Burns over there. He is slated to earn $22.5 million in 2025. That's a hefty sum of money, right? Crew's not going to take that contract. Get it. But if, for instance, same with Nestor Cortez, the Diamondbacks want to get him off the books and they're willing to pay a part of that, the Brewers could end up taking him if it doesn't cost them a ton. Now, I'm not saying they want to spend the world, but I'm saying they could make a fit. However, Trade Rumors does not see it that way, but they list like the Athletics, the Braves, the Cubs as options. I think he might be a sneaky fit in Milwaukee, believe it or not, guys. I just think we have that ability to rehab a player, especially with the pitching lab. I know everybody's probably got a pitching lab, but that's like the toted thing that, Milwaukee's got this pitching lab, So I just foresee that as potentially a good option for us if we could get rid of some talent that we don't need. And add a piece that could be potentially good for us. Jordan Montgomery is a great player. Obviously, he earned a stellar salary signing at $22 million for a starting pitcher. But yeah. As far as anybody else in the market goes right now, I haven't really looked across the board at filling in positions for us, just because I haven't sat down with it. I haven't sat down and really um, dove into who's out there, who's available, what we could possibly get. And I don't think the Brewers have honestly done that at this point in the offseason. I really don't. They tend to not pull the trigger on moves unless they're slapping them in the face. You know what I mean? The Yankees called the Brewers, not the Brewers calling the Yankees. And that being said, I mean, our team's somewhat okay. I mean, we're, like I said, the Central Division has not gotten any worse or any better since we left, since the end of the season. So, and literally, we're just it's a wait and see game. They're playing the game. They got, I think, okay. There's two schools of thought. I think there is a thing going on right now in Major League Baseball as a whole, where the TV money, the TV deals, are really holding these teams back. They're not spending because they're afraid they're going to lose out on all the money. Where you see teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees keep going forward and keep pressing the button because they are making the money no matter what. They don't have to worry about income, revenue, how many people walk through the gate, good economy, bad economy. They're going to make money no matter what. And that, at the end of the day, is the difference between us and everybody else. We worry about how we're going to make money. They don't put a good product that they know is going to make money out on the field. They put a product out on the field based on how much money they have. It's kind of a reverse thought process for spending. It's like they're not spending to make money, they're spending based off the money they make. Good school business, bad school business. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to say what I think as a fan. I think if you put another name out there, okay. I did a whole breakdown on this like 3 years ago. If you would have put Bryce Harper on this Milwaukee Brewers team, how many more people would have come to Milwaukee Brewers games? How many more jerseys would you have sold across the country, not just locally? You know, the Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, and that jersey immediately became the number one selling jersey. The Dodgers signed, you know, anybody, and their jersey just pops off. You know, look at, I mean, how many Soto Mets jerseys have been sold already? Probably a lot. There's probably a lot out there in the marketplace already. Not to say just not because it's not one of the biggest cities and markets in the country, but also they landed. You know what I mean? Every one of these bobbleheads, every one of these, you know, those teams make money off of all those little items, game day giveaways. Now all those fans are making money off the Dodgers Ohtani giveaways. I mean, it's a ludicrous cycle, but at the same point in time, when you have star power, I mean, think about the market that is Christian Yelich and how many people own a Christian Yelich jersey, or multiple. In my case, I got multiple back there. You sell stuff based on name players. Ryan Braun was a name player that sold a lot of merch. You still see his jerseys, especially a market like Milwaukee, where people put a lot of their hard-earned dollars into a jersey. Depending on how big the player is, the jersey is going to be worn for years to come. Years to come. So, I don't know. That's the same old tired take I always have. It's not tired, though, because it's the same passion I have for it. If the Brewers were spending money like other teams, I'm not saying they need to go defer $700 million. That's not the point at all. But if they sign a star name that's got a little bit of name recognition to them, then the trickle-down dollars are going to happen based off of that name. That's a thought process. I'm not saying it's the most correct, the most current, the most accurate, but it's definitely a thought process of Major League Baseball. As a Major League Baseball fan, I think about it. I'm like, oh, what name player would be cool to have? You know, a Jordan Montgomery. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Or Corbin Burns. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Willie Adames. That'd be really cool. Yohan Moncada. There's lots of names out there right now. I'm not gonna sit here and list everyone. I go over scenarios as I see them fit. Juan Soto. Do I think okay? To give you the actual essence of what I'm saying, do I think Juan Soto would have been a great sign for the Milwaukee Brewers? Oop, we tilted. Sorry. Sure. Do I think that would no, that would have bankrupted the team to sign that much money from one player. We're never going to be in on those players. It's just the truth and reality. Would you like to see it? Of course. What baseball fan wouldn't want the best players to sign on the dotted line for our team? You'd be remiss if you say you don't want to sign the best baseball players to your team. I don't know. Am I a little whacked in the head tonight? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just a little off the rocker. I don't know. I don't really know. But at the end of the day, like, it's fun to think about. It's fun to dream up your dream Milwaukee Brewers team. Would you want a Freddie Freeman? Yeah, you'd want a Freddie Freeman. Would you want a Shohei Ohtani? Sure, you would. Would you want Mookie Betts? MLB in the namesake. Yes, you wanted Mookie Betts. But where are they? Los Angeles, making big checks. Big checks. Do you want a Christian Yelich? Maybe not. I don't know. Are we burned by the fact that we signed like a Christian Yelich contract? Yes, we are. We are burned by that because it's money we've spent, and he's been hurt, and it hurts. It sucks. That's where a lot of people get gun shy on these big deals, because if they go through any little bit of trouble or struggle, back problem, what have you. But we're going to speak good vibes into existence for Christian. Christian's going to be healthy. He's going to be an all-star this year. I already said it at number 24, second on my list. Christian Yelich 2025 all-star. Guys, it's been fun. It's been good. I'm gonna hit you guys later tomorrow. We're gonna talk more. I said this was one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna date this. We're gonna revisit it. We may do a revised 2025 at some point, but we're going to date this as 1-5. Speak it into existence. 1-5-2025. We got a lot of things coming for the 2025 baseball season. Guys, thank you as always for watching. Thank you for being a part of this journey. We're going to get the technical glitches out of the way. We're going to get the everything back up to snuff. We're going to bring guests back. It is just the first week of the year. We popped off a few episodes. We didn't come every day. We'll try to come every day, but got to understand at the same time, life gets busy. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. As always, subscribe. You can rewatch this on the YouTube later. If you're rewatching, say, hey, I rewatched this. I watch this on the replay. I don't know who watches live and who doesn't, so you got to tell me. If there's more content or suggestions for content, you can always email me. My email is millerparkminute@gmail.com. You can hit me up at millerminute over on the X platform. I'm on basically every social media. If you go over to the Facebook group, it's Milwaukee Brewers and the Miller Park Minute Facebook group. Start a discussion, start a conversation. This podcast is for you as much as it is my ability just to speak about the Brew Crew. So, as I always do, guys, this is Eric with the Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we throw strikes, get likes, hit dingers, get listeners. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your evening or day, depending on when you're watching this. Thanks.